Welcome back to the hardcore world, and it's been quite a while since I've played on here and I've done quite a bit in that time. So first of all, I've built this small lava farm which is very simple. It works with just having a bit of lava up here, dripstone and a few cauldrons, which we can easily get from our iron farm we built in the first episode. And then I've also been doing a bit of building. So here we have a simple sugarcane farm. So this is just the entrance, and underneath here you can see there's some very ugly redstone on dirt. Didn't want that to be on show, so I hid it all underground. And if we go down here into this hole, you can see we've got mineshaft style interior and the chest bringing in the sugarcane. So that's where we get all the sugarcane for rockets, as I was getting a bit bored of harvesting it manually. And also, because of all this redstone behind here, I had to build a hill and thought I might spruce up this house over here a bit by adding some copper and blackstone and stuff like that, so it looks slightly nicer. And the copper, to make it stay as that kind of copper and not oxidized, I've also built this honey farm over here. So this just took, the redstone here is actually really simple. Like, this is basically all it is, just a few comparators behind the hives which checks when it's got honey in them, and then when it gets the right amount then it'll come up here and activate these dispensers which shear them, and all the honeycomb comes out here. And the bees are pollinating from these flowering azaleas, which is pretty cool that they can do that. And finally, I've also built up this sheep farm over here and started adding some decoration, as I think this area needs a bit of decoration. And as you can see, it produces loads of wool. It's only got 16 modules here, and each module is pretty simple. An observer which looks at this piece of grass here powers this redstone dust, which powers this dispenser which then shears the sheep. And then it all comes down with copper minecart, and it all deposits in here, which is quite good. And I've started decorating it in this kind of style, so I'm going to have a roof and a little tower here, which could look quite nice. But anyway, since this was so big and ugly and I wanted to make this look nicer, I decided to also remove the automatic villager breeder we had earlier, as it didn't seem to be working, so I just decided to remove it. But today I've got something big planned. Today we are going to be completely turning off warden spawning. And I'll leave a link in the description to ilmango's video on this, and it's got a very nice survival tutorial in it and very easy to follow along, so check that out. But basically today we're going to be completely turning off wardens, so when we go raiding ancient cities there's no problem with them spawning and no risk of losing our world, which would not be good, would it? So anyway, let's get right into the video. One of the materials we need for this build is powdered snow. So I've flown all the way out here, which is around 3,000 blocks away to get some. And I think there is some around here somewhere. Just got to look for it a bit. Over here maybe. And it does look slightly different. Here it is, so we can get 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. But the funny thing is that I flew all the way out here but actually forgot the bucket. But luckily we're near a stony shore, so I was easily able to get enough iron to make them. So now we've got them all. I made this little bit here too to get, so I cooked it using that. Anyway, now that we've got it all, we can start on the build. And the good thing is that there may actually be a deep dark biome under this, as they spawn most commonly under low erosion places like meadows or mountains. So let's just try digging straight down, see if that works. Have we got a shovel? Yes we do, so let's just dig straight down. I've just realised it'd probably be better to find a more open skulk shrieker to build this around, as you do need a little bit of space. So we're going to quickly sleep the night away and then go and find an ancient city straight away, as they'll have plenty of open and quite exposed shriekers to build this farm around. And don't worry, we won't be setting any wardens up or looting it at all before we make the switch, so there's no danger while building this. And here it is. Here is the ancient city, and we've got to be quiet, so we don't want to set any of the shriekers off, which I've already done twice because there's some other caves up here. Just float down, and while holding shift, land here, and we're safe. Okay, now we just have to look for a nice and exposed shrieker. I see one over there, so let's go for that one. This one looks like a good one, but we will have to be very careful around it. Make sure to block it all completely off. Oh no, we may have just summoned the warden. No, luckily not. Let's place a block over there. And that was our last strike, so we've got to be very careful right now. Let's do that, let's do that. Let's just build it one higher and we can remove this one. I am pretty sure we can. There. Then let's use our wool again. Let's go around here. And let's block all of these off. Totally off like that. No sounds can escape. And this will set that one off. Then we can remove this one. Carefully come around here. Then we should be able to remove that one. And there are a few on the other side of this wall, so we've got to try and carefully get over there without setting any more off. Yeah, so as you can see there are quite a few here. Let's make a little staircase down. Jump down there. Here we go. So we've got to be careful not to step on any. Let's just do that for this one, and then we'll get this one out of the way. Oh no, the warden's coming this time. Okay, now as you can hear, the warden's now out and about. Let's simply go all the way up here and just wait for it to despawn. Okay, so I think it's been long enough, so it's safe to go back down here. We've got to be very careful while landing down here, but we land on the wall. And no, we just set off again. Okay, well, let's just remove that. Okay, now we've got to run. Got to run. Okay, here's a way up. And we're safe again. Now we have to wait again, but at least we found diamonds. That's good. Didn't think it'd be this hard. Haven't got inventory space, that's sad. Okay, so let's just wait. So here is an enclosed shrieker, and I've removed all of the other shriekers and sensors around it. This is a different one, as the one had so many around it that it'd be impossible to get enclosed like this. But anyway, while we're here, there's also this chest, and there are no shriekers around or sculpt sensors, so we can easily just loot this one. And oh, that's quite nice, Swift Sneak free. That's quite useful. And also a hoe. Hoe could be good. Fortune free though, so won't get us any sensors or silk touch things, but I guess it's good. Let's just put that in there for now. We can take, actually let's just leave that in there for now. And it's time to get to work on this build. So let's start by removing all these blocks in an area, as we need to spawn proof this farm, as we don't want any wardens actually spawning. Here we have a hole, and now that all warden spawning is blocked, it's time to actually build up the machine, which will be going around this side probably. Actually, I think I'm going to remove a few of the blocks and build it on this side. We now have this tube built up surrounding the shrieker, which is right under this block, and the bits are in the 11 by 11 box that the warden can spawn have all been spawn proofed with some carpet, which you can't really see, but it is there. And we've extended it a bit further. This block here is where the shrieker will go, but now we need to place the bit where the arrows will be fired into, and we'll do this by placing a piston with a wall block on top. just like that. So this is where we'll fire the arrows into. Here is the clock that's going to be triggering the Skulk Shrieker, and we need to put in 13 items. So let's actually disable it quickly by placing redstone block there, and it should have disabled it. Seems we did something wrong. Let's see. Okay, let's try putting something here. That should stop it. Now we can put in 13 items. There we go, 13 items. Now we can remove this and it'll start doing it. And every time that goes across, then this block will go up. So let's wait a bit. As you can see, it goes up and then down. And if we wait again, then we'll have to wait again to the next one. Every now and again it'll go up and down, just as it's supposed to. With the addition of this portal over here, the overworld side is now done, other than the sculpt sensor, which will go last. And now we just have to complete this chunk loader on the nether side, so let's go and do that now. I needed to come back to my base because I forgot a material, and I think this is a good time to put the swift sneak on our leggings. We can just do it just like that, and there. Now we have swift sneak, so this means that, well, let's quickly try without it. So that's how fast you go without it, and that's quite slow actually. Now we add them back on, and look, you can go at walking speed, and if you sprint before doing it, then you go even faster, which is pretty cool. So this will make building way easier. Anyway, let's get back to the farm. Here is the nether side all done, and as you can see, it's very simple, and was made much more simpler making chunk loaders in 1.19 as dropper randomization was changed slightly, so now it's less random where it spews out, so you can make it really simple like this. Anyway, let's go back through and add in the items to the other side and place back in the sensor. As you can see now, I can just jump on all of these shriekers, activate all of them, and they won't shriek or spawn a warden, which is pretty cool. And the thing is, this works in any ancient city, not just the one I built it in. So I can go away from this, stand on as many shriekers as I like, and this will work. I've got chunk borders on, might disable that quickly. Let's do that. And let's go maybe over here. So here we are. Add some more. Let's stand on them. And as you can see, it doesn't spawn a warden at all. Even if we constantly stand on them, it will do absolutely nothing. Which means we can go around spawning as many wardens, or at least trying to, and looting all of the ancient cities. So let's go and do that now. And while looting this ancient city, I actually found other side disc, which is pretty cool. And I've been breaking the chest as I go, just so I know if it's been looted or not. Oh, Swift Sneak 2. I already found another one, so that means another Swift Sneak 3 book. And a few disc fragments, that's nice. And here is our first Not Chapel. And these are actually quite common in ancient cities. So we've already found our first one, and I've only looted around 5 chests, so that's quite nice. And no wardens are spawning still, which is very nice. I've also found another Silk Touch hoe. Oh, max fortune one, that's cool. Another cool thing about these ancient cities is that you can also find skeleton skulls, which is pretty cool, as normally they're quite hard to get. So here we've got another skeleton skull. And I'll just go around collecting these as well as looting the chests, of course. And the diamond leggings I really have no use for, as we already have netherite leggings. And it's unlikely that we'll ever break them. And if we die and lose them, well, we also lose the world. No point gathering the diamond leggings, they're a bit pointless. I think this entire city has now been looted. And this is also a great place to get diamonds, but I'm going to leave that one because I don't have inventory space. Anyway, let's go and find another ancient city and see if we get more luck with the Not Chapels on that one. Here is the second ancient city, and as you can see, it's still working, and we can continue to loot chests. Oh, another Swift Sneak. I might just stop collecting Swift Sneak 2 now, as it's kind of pointless. So I only really ever have one pair of leggings. In this chest I've found 2 notch apples, which is really good for a chest. Just one chest I found 2 notch apples, which is actually very, very good. So now we're up to 3 notch apples. Let's see if we can find a few more at least. While looking for another ancient city, I found this, and it's an exposed lush cave. This is actually pretty cool. Some mobs still do spawn in it, but still very cool. And it's exposed right to the outside, which is very cool. And here is another mountain. There may be another ancient city under here. And this is very cool. Look, the lush cave is generated right into this ancient city. This would be very cool for a build someday. Not this episode though, as I've already done quite a bit this episode, but could be cool for another day. Here is a 4th enchanted golden apple or notch apple. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. This is actually our 5th one, which is pretty cool, and respiration 3 book, which is pretty useless. Also, I have got a resource pack which changes the look of chests, so they're a bit easier to spot, just so I don't miss any. And this is just a resource pack, it's not a mod or anything. And it's actually the textures that you get when it's Christmas time when you have Optifine, I think, which is pretty cool. But this just means that we can get it every day. Anyway, let's continue searching. Oh, is this like a bath thing? Like where they go swimming or something? That's pretty cool, never knew that existed. While searching for another ancient city, I've actually found another new biome for 1.19, the mangrove swamp, which is pretty cool. So I might take a few mangrove propagules from here. Let's just do this, and there it goes. What can we throw out? Let's just throw out one of these other scientists. And we'll have to be careful that we don't get eaten by zombies, which won't be very comfortable for any of us. So let's then go here. Oh, and a slime, that's pretty cool. Because they can actually spawn here, can't they? But anyway, I think that's all we really need from here, so let's continue on. Now that we've looted a couple of ancient cities, unfortunately I have to go back. And I have found another one. If we look under here, then you'll see that we have found one. However, I actually left this world, which disables the warden switch, so we have to go back and turn it on before we can loot any more. So to do that, I'm just going to use fast nether travel, which will bring us home very quickly, as I know the coordinates of our portal in the nether. So let's go back quickly, turn it back on, then we can loot some more. On the way back, I also found a Soul Sand Valley fortress, and within like 2 minutes there were so many wither skeletons that I managed to get 3 wither skulls, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately I didn't record that, but I wish I did, it was really cool. And also, because we went so far looking for ancient cities, we got the advancement subspace level, which is to travel 7 kilometers in the overworld using the nether, which is pretty cool. But now we're back home, and I think that's all the cities we're going to raid for today. Also, we managed to get a max fortune hoe, and also a not so max silk touch hoe. Unfortunately I want silk touch, so we're going to combine them to get a max silk touch one. Now that we've done that, we can go into our valuable sugar, which I put up here, take one of our netherite ingots, and we can combine them again to make, I think, the final netherite item that we need, a netherite hoe. So here we go. And we've got serious dedication with our max hoe, which is pretty cool, so I'm just going to put it straight in here. Now that we've looted a load of ancient cities, and we've got 6 notch apples and Swift Sneak, I think we're ready to move on. So now I want to build a slime farm, and this is going to be a new concept, a swamp slime farm, and it's a relatively new concept that I think ilmango was the first to demonstrate. Anyway, so I've slightly modified it and we're going to be building that. However, it requires a lot of cobblestone. So I think the best way to gather this is to just make a simple cobblestone generator like this, so I don't have to go into caves. But I can't really be bothered for this simple task to make an automatic one, so I just built this. The only problem is, as you can see, we don't quite get to the last block. So for that we need to make a beacon, which I think we're going to get. As, if you remember correctly, we got 3 wither skulls on the way back from the ancient cities. So I think it's time to go and defeat the wither. And of course, we're going to be doing this the easy way. I'm not going to waste this world to wither. To kill the wither easily, we're going to be using this simple method with 4 obsidian below the bedrock of the end portal. So as you can see, this block here is right below this tower here, and then these 3 come off like that, and it's a 3 high room, so there's a 2 block high gap above the obsidian. Now we can just place our soul sand on top of there, and then finally we need our wither skulls, which I have in my ender chest. Here we go. Let's just get them out of here and maybe put this back before we actually spawn it. So here we go, let's spawn it. 1, 2 and 3. So as you can see, it's starting to spawn up. So let's just move a little bit away so we don't take any damage, because when it blows up it'll release a bit of an explosion, which won't blow up any blocks. Actually, I may turn down my sounds quickly, as that is very loud. Let's just turn them off actually. So there we go, all turned off. And now, if we come down here, as you can see, the wither is trapped. And we can easily just come around and hit it. We can even do crits, just like this. And after a little bit, the wither will be easily defeated, without us taking any damage at all. There we go. And there, we have another star. Now I can quickly put my sounds back up to 5. There we go. And now we can simply go back home and turn this into a beacon. So for this, let's quickly sleep. But basically, for a beacon, we will need some obsidian, which I probably should have got from the end, but we can get from here, I guess. We'll also need some glass, and I don't have any, so I'll have to cook some. And for this you need 5 glass. We've already got 1, so you just need 4 sand. Anyway, I'll get the materials, then we can make this beacon. And with this lava farm, obsidian is really easy to get. It's all we need is a bit of water, and then we simply do that. So now we've got obsidian. So this is kind of like an obsidian farm too. And there, now we have all the obsidian we need. Now that we have all the materials, we can simply craft this beacon. And because of a really good iron bar we built, we now have all iron too. I think I want to put my beacon right in the centre of my base, so that it's right there where we can see it. So what we'll need to do is we're going to place it here, so we'll have to have a pyramid below it. And for a full pyramid you need 2 stacks and 36 items. So let's make this now. Now that we've got this area cleared out, we can simply place the blocks in like this, forming a pyramid, with the bottom layer being a 9 by 9 square, so 81 blocks for the bottom layer. Anyway, let's build this up now. Now that the pyramid is completed below, all we have to do is simply place the beacon on top, and then using this last block of iron we can place 1 ingot in and get the effect. And we want haste 2. So all we have to do is select that, which I think we have, and now we simply press on it and we have haste 1. I think I must have done something wrong. Have I? I've probably not built the last layer. I missed a block. Okay, so we have to go back down and fix that. Now when we select it, yes, as you can see it goes slightly dark, and now it's selected this effect, haste 2. So when we press click on that, and now we have haste 2 up here. Now if we come over to our stone generator we've got over here and simply stand here, then as you can see we mine all of it right to the end, and it all gets collected in here. So it's time to get some cobblestone. This should be enough cobblestone for our needs, so let's just take maybe that much, and we'll have to turn it into slabs because we're going to make the roof, which makes it all dark in this slime farm, out of cobblestone slabs. Actually, might as well use this stone cutter that I recently installed. Another material we'll need is some tinted glass, and for this you need some amethyst shards. So I've simply come to an ocean here, and I'll spend some time here harvesting them when they grow. So let's do it. That should be enough amethyst shards for now, actually probably more than enough. Though we will need to also get some sand to turn into glass, because to make some tinted glass you need 4 amethyst shards and 1 piece of glass. Let's go and gather some sand now. Luckily, when you do combine them to make tinted glass, which we can actually quickly do, actually no we can't because we haven't turned it into glass yet, but when you try and turn it into tinted glass, you actually get 2 pieces of glass per glass bin. So basically you put in 1 piece of glass and you get 2 tinted glass back, which is pretty cool. So we only need a stack and 8 sand, so I got a bit more. Anyway, let's fly back home, which I think is in this direction. Hopefully I don't get lost. I have some of the sand smelting now, but I've already smelted 8, so let's see if it turns into tinted glass. So as you can see, we've got the recipe, and there, so 4 amethyst shards and 1 piece of glass. Turns into 2 tinted glass. So now we have 16. Only a stack of glass more to go. It seems that we're going to need 16 more amethyst shards, so it's time to go and gather them. And we already have 2 stacks and 8, so we just need a bit more. So let's go back to the amethyst yard and get them. Now with all the tinted glass gathered, we can put that in this shulk box. As you can see, I've also been gathering some andesite and some hoppers. And also here are the slabs that we need for the roof. And there are a few other materials, so let's gather them quickly. After looking on Chunkbase to see where a swamp was, I found the coordinates and simply divided by 8 to find out where to place this nether portal. And as you can see, that is near, that's the hole in the bedrock that we broke first. So this is where it is. It's relatively near in the nether, so not too long. Otherwise it'd be like a 2,000 block flight in overworld. So let's see if this brings us to the swamp. If not, then I made my calculations wrong. So this should bring us straight out to the swamp, or at least near one. And yes, as you can see, we're straight onto a tree and so on. Okay, so this is where we're going to be making the farm when it loads in a bit more. So we want to look for, yes, this is the patch we want to look for. A bit of a, like, more watery one, so we don't have to do much spawn proofing. Hopefully we won't have to do any spawn proofing at all. Anyway, let's get to building up this farm. I have a majority of materials in here, which I borrowed by shulk box, but I only have 1 used for transporting, so I'll need to go back and get over a shulk box of cobblestone slabs we have back at the base. All of the materials are now transported here with some more slabs in this box, and it's time to get started. And for this I'm going to be using Litematica. So here's the menu. We simply load schematics and then swamp slime farm. This is the one that I made. And here we go, here it is. And for this we'll actually need to move this into a slightly different position. So at the moment, as you can see, it's in the middle of trees, not where we want. So let's swim over to maybe that lily pad over there. See if we can do some parkour. Here we go. Now we can simply do configure and move to player. So let's see, is that in the right position, do we think? I think we should maybe move it a bit further this way, so maybe here. Let's then go and configure schematics, move to player, and let's have a look at this now. Is that good enough? I think again we should probably move it a bit more this way even, because we don't want anything in the spawn range. So let's put it maybe here. Let's go schematic placements, configure, move player. And we're going to quickly move this down to 2, so it's at water level now. And as you can see, we've now got this hologram of the build in the world now. And I've moved down like this, so this is where we're going to have the storage for it. And this is where there's going to be a roadblock, so you stand on and we can take all of the stuff out of the chest. and this just shows me where to place the blocks, so I can come, design in creative, and then easily build up. Anyway, there's one more material that we need, and that's brown mushrooms. Luckily, we are in a swamp, where it's very easy to find them. Well, I say that and I can't see any right now, but they are easy to find, trust me. I'll find a way to get those mushrooms. After a load of mushroom chopping from this dark oak forest I found, I managed to get 10 stacks of mushrooms, which is all we need. And the reason we need these is that they admit a light level of 1. So if we quickly dig ourselves down underground, come to the top, then if we do this, as you can see, it's level 0. But when we place this mushroom, it's level 1. Then we remove this block. That one will also be level 0 if we quickly cover, yes. So see, only emits light level 1, which means that no hostile mobs can spawn on it. But slimes are different, and they can spawn up to like level 7 in swamps. So this means it's an only swamp farm. Yet, the higher the light level, the lower the chance of a slime spawning, so level 1 is very useful. Anyway, let's get back to the farm. The bottom collection bit is now in, so we have a minecart track here, and then we also have one of ilmango's cart eaters, which basically breaks the minecart, dispenses all the items into here where I need to put some water, then the items will get flushed up here where there'll be a bubble column, and then into these chests. And then the minecart, however, is caught by this hopper and put back in the system and redispensed, so it just keeps going around doing that. It isn't really necessary for a farm that produces rates like this, but it's pretty cool and I thought it's the best way, instead of having a hopper and loading system. But anyway, now we have to go up to the spawning platforms of a farm. With the spawning platforms now in, it's time to explain how this farm actually works. So to begin with, we've got this roof here, which makes it dark enough for mushrooms to be planted, as I think it's a light level of 13 that they need it to be, and then anything lower than that, and at level 13, then they can be placed. Because, let's just quickly take one of these mushrooms, we'll put it back. If we come here, and it can be placed on grass, if you try and place down, and I am clicking now, it is just not placing. However, when we come back in here, and where do we take it from? Is it somewhere over here? Where do we take this mushroom from? Well, here it was. So if we try and place it here, as you can see, easy to place. Then, when we come here, this is like level 6, I think. Yes, there's 6. You can still place it. But then, when we come out there, it's like level 13 or above. So now they can only be placed when under a roof, which is why we've got this. It's not really to make it dark enough for them to spawn, as that's fine. But the other reason why we're using mushrooms is because they emit a light level, which means that only slimes can spawn in here. And the reason why it's not fully covered in mushrooms is because these campfires also emit some light which goes out here, so there's no point having extra mushrooms in here. And then in the centre we have an iron golem. And these circles, it's 14 blocks out, I think, so wherever the slime spawns, it can see the iron golem. And even if it doesn't see it and starts wandering off this way, because of the slime AI, it'll eventually just drop off and instantly despawn, because of the level of our AFK spot. And then when they do come down here, they're so silly that they just jump off onto these campfires, which they are then killed on. And then all the drops are collected by the cart eater and put into this. And this is just storage. And as you can see, I've been AFKing for about an hour now, and it produces a very good amount for a no digging slime farm. Now we can see even more coming in now. And also just flying up to it while trying to add in the hopper minecart, I collected almost 3 stacks of slime already. So this is a very cool farm, and I think that's going to be all for today, and I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe for more, and I will be doing some more projects. For example, I'm thinking of doing a perimeter next in this world. But anyway, goodbye.